Welcome, everyone, to today's show. A boomer and a Gen Xer walk into a bar, coming to you from the Rabbit Hole Studio, where you, as our listener, will experience some wit and wisdom, some smartassery, and a mother and daughter questioning, are we even related? My name is Bobbi Joy, and my co-host is my mom, Jane, and for the next little while, we are here to entertain you. What did I do?
Nothing. I'm waiting for you to go, hey, Mom.
Oh, jeez. Do you need an invitation for everything?
I kind of do.
It's
Bobby.
literally half your show. Just start talking.
Well, I'm waiting for you to go, hi, Mom. And I'm over here like, is she going to say
I didn't
hey
think
to
you
me?
needed an invite because I didn't get one.
Okay. So what she's referring to is the other night we took her sister out for her birthday to dinner.
My only sister.
Her
my only
sister.
sibling.
Yeah, it is. And we didn't invite Bobby. And
No. Let's tell everybody how I came about this. So I called my sister to thank her for helping me get a tree down. And she's being real shady about something. And I'm like, what are you being shady for? She's like, nothing. And then I hear her talking to somebody in the background and I hear my name mentioned. So I'm like, okay, I know these people. I said, Modesty, are you at the casino? She goes, no. I said, no. Are you at the casino? She goes, yeah. I said, who are you there with? Mom. Oh, okay. Nope. I see how it is.
oh, yeah. So then that immediately was, well, where's Bobby? Why isn't Bobby here? That was all coming from Bobby. Why wasn't Bobby invited? Why wasn't
That's because
Bobby
you posted
invited?
a picture on Facebook. Look how much fun we're having.
And you
happy
said,
birthday.
Oh, where's Bobby?
Oh, where's Bobby?
And what did I say?
None of us like you.
None of us like you. That's why you weren't invited.
Bunch of assholes.
So she's still trying to get over that. Oh my goodness. Pull yourself together with your little therapeutic chicken you got down there.
Well,
I mean, for goodness sakes.
I just sat home and ate potato chips.
Potato chips all night long. All night long. So we got a pretty good topic, I think, today because it's pretty popular. Did I even tell you what the topic is today, Bobby?
I think you mentioned it.
So I'm just going to ask you this question. Besides selfies and maybe porn,
We'll call it corn.
porn in the corn.
Yeah.
What do you think gets posted on social media for pictures more than anything else?
Well, I mean, if you're a fat girl like me, it's about every meal that you eat that looks good.
Oh my gosh, it is. So popular by popular demand. People post pictures of not only their food, but their recipes and where they have actually been to eat.
Like reviews of food and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I do a lot of reviews. Not only of restaurants. I have almost 1 million reviews on my site because I review everything. If I go somewhere,
I was gonna say, holy crap!
It's not
Went
just
to the Casey's, had 3 slices of pizza left, not gluten free. 3 out of 5 stars. The bathrooms were clean.
No,
4 times a week.
I don't do Casey's, but I do restaurants. I do parks. I do
That's insane.
stores. Hey, why? People
I
need
guess
to know.
you're retired. Like, you're just going to sit around.
People
and write
need to know
reviews
when
all
you've
day.
got almost 1 million people who have looked at your stuff. I mean, come on, they're going, hey, let's see where Jane went this week.
And they have a whole Facebook page for the one in Des Moines, and it's Des Moines and surrounding areas that have the food reviews, and it's everything from dive bars to expensive restaurants.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I post food pictures.
I do too.
And so food,
I'm hungry.
Not just the pictures on social networking, but food itself has become quite the obsession with people. It's, every time you go out, every time you go to meet up with people, there's always food. I mean, it just really doesn't make any difference. And you're judging that food on a regular basis. So I don't mind looking at some of the pictures. Now, sometimes when I see so many recipes pop up, it's like, if it's more than 3 ingredients, I'm not going to tackle it anyway, just because I just don't want to. I don't have that kind of time. Leave me alone. But sometimes they post them and gosh, they've got like 25 different ingredients. I'm not interested. But so I did want to talk about this because it seems to be very, very popular. I mean, you've seen them, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a way back Hell's Kitchen kid, you know, and the Nightmare Kitchen, I think it was, or Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay.
Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not on there calling somebody an idiot sandwich while I'm looking at good food, I don't want to see it.
There are a lot of shows. I mean, a lot. Not only cooking shows, but now they've got the barbecue shows. They've got baking. I love watching the baking shows because I got to be honest, these people are very, very talented.
Oh yeah, very much. Well, depends on the show you're watching because they do have the worst bakers shows and things like that.
Well, that's true. And I have seen that Nailed It video.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you try to make whatever it is that they've got in the picture, and then you post your picture of what you've got, and you go, nailed it. It doesn't even look like it. So Dr. Domain last year sent me and a girlfriend for Christmas to a cake decorating class.
And she's made a cake for everyone's occasion, birthdays, holidays since.
So let me just tell you how this goes down. I have zero patience. None. Like none. I'm very, very tolerant of things, but I have zero patience. I want it done now. I want it done right. I want it done now. And so I just, if it takes more than 5 minutes or it's got more than 3 ingredients, I'm pretty well screwed. So I was saying that I would sure like to be able to at least maybe decorate a cake, like, you know, kind of nice, not really a professional, but kind of nice. And some people do them really nice. We have a friend of ours, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she took a cookie decorating class, and she posts her cookies that she decorates. And she just took a class. She's no different than you and I.
Right.
And this woman puts out some magnificent stuff.
And I think I know who you're talking about. And yes, she does.
Oh my gosh, I'm just amazed. So I make stuff and it looks like a 3-year-old took it and made it and then stepped in it.
And what do you always say? What do you send a picture or something like that and you say, I made a cake for so-and-so's birthday. I promise it tastes better than it looks.
Yeah, it does. It tastes
and it
better.
does. It always tastes great, but the look, it's like what was it? The Easter cake last year or something like that.
Sad. No, the Easter cake was okay. It was the first cake I made after I got out of the cake decorating class.
Okay,
and it was for one of the grandkids, and I felt so bad. Oh. I think it was for Joey. I don't remember, but it was so bad. I felt so bad about that. But man, they ate it. They didn't care.
It tasted great.
Yeah.
It just looked like a slaughtered lamb.
I envy anybody who has the patience to do all of that. Now, I'm a pretty good cook. I don't shy away from spices and things like that, and that doesn't bother me, but I can't cook like,
Bake.
But here's the deal. I think I could go on Chopped. Have you seen that show?
Why do you always think you can go on these shows?
Because every time they pull stuff out of those baskets. So if you haven't seen Chopped.
No, yeah.
Here's what they do. So they give you a basket of ingredients. And some of them are bizarre ingredients. And so, they tell you have to make either an appetizer, or main course, or dessert with these things that are in the basket. And I always immediately have an idea for those ingredients, and they're not really bad ideas. Do you think, Dr. Domain? He's dead silent. He's like,
they're good. They're good.
They're good.
You
And
can't pull him into
I can't
this.
pull him into
You
this
can't.
because he's like, oh, she'll never cook again if I say anything wrong. So anyway, so back to my subject matter here, and that is the fact that we are obsessed with food. It isn't just the cooking shows. Let's think about when you go to the farmers markets. They used to be where they sold vegetables and fruits and their
Tie-dye
handy
hippie
wares
shirts.
and their tie-dye hippie shirts and, the aprons that they made and the
Honey
flowers
jars.
and honey jars and all that stuff. Now what is it? food, right? And it's just people walking around going, what am I going to eat next?
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same way with the state fair. And
the state fair's always been horrible for food, though. I mean, they've got like 40 vendors in a 2-block area.
But, when the state fairs and even county fairs were put together, they were put together for the farming industry. So that farmers could go in and, kind of show off what it is that they have grown, or look for equipment, or show off their equipment or their skills and things like that. That is no longer true. The Iowa State Fair, one of the biggest and baddest state fairs around, has hardly any implement dealer equipment out there at all. It's all food. And people are walking around going, what am I going to eat next? And, we are a society of fat people. Let's face it. We are unhealthy, and that's no lie, and that's no exaggeration. And the focus is on food. Well, when you see these pictures pop up on your social networking, guess what? Makes you hungry, right? Yeah. Psychologically, it makes you hungry. I'm just going to ask you this, Bobbi. What dish do you make really well, do you think?
Well, according to the kids, it's either
Kraft macaroni and cheese.
You know what? It's either my meatloaf.
Okay. Don't let your meatloaf. Oh my God, I'm so funny.
Some days I wonder which dumpster you found me in, which one you rescued me from, and if I could go back.
Okay. So meatloaf.
I'd say meatloaf is my top one.
Okay. So Dr. Domain, what dish do you think that you make the best? Because he's a pretty good cook. And so I'm going to ask him, what dish is your favorite? Do you think that you make the best?
What I like to eat and what I think I'm good at cooking are two different things.
What you think you're good at cooking? Let's see what you think you're really good at cooking.
I like breakfast food.
Okay.
Good breakfast food. And there's no one particular thing.
Okay.
Coincidentally, I do like to make meatloaf, but I haven't made it in forever.
Can you guys hear ice tumbling in a glass in the background? Can you hear that? Can our listeners hear that? Ice tumbling in a glass. You know why? Because Bobbi had to drink to do this show tonight with me because she is so stressed out today.
I've had a hard week and it's only Monday. Okay.
Well, you don't need to have your ice tumbling down there. Okay.
If somebody didn't have cups with our ice already in them, I wouldn't have ice. Okay.
Well,
anyways.
My dish that I think that I can really make well would be shrimp Diablo. And that's, a shrimp pasta. You can't really screw it up too badly, but I can make shrimp.
I've never had it.
The other thing is, and my kids like this a lot, chicken and noodles.
Yeah,
and
the homemade chicken noodle.
Yeah, with mashed potatoes and stuff.
Yeah, that's really good.
So those are my two claims for fame.
Oh, I guess my second one would be my goulash.
Oh, goulash. So what is goulash exactly? Because a lot of people don't even know what that is.
So it's a thing that farmers do in the fall to last through the winter. They make it in a big cauldron in the cornfield, surrounded by the cows.
You are so full of it. Oh my gosh.
It's a pasta dish with red sauce and usually meats, fresh vegetables, things like that in it, topped with some cheese.
So now the goulash that I was raised on was a macaroni, an elbow macaroni,
right?
And then like a marinara sauce,
and
a hamburger.
Sauce. Yep.
And we always had peas in ours.
Oh, ouch. No, we do green peppers, onions, things like that.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
In your goulash?
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Dr. Domain?
Season the beef real good?
Yeah.
That's the way you've eaten it too, with all those vegetables in there?
Well, yeah, there were some vegetables in it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never
made it. I mean, my specialty is something else, but I never made goulash.
I've never.
I'll be damned.
You know what I think your specialty is?
Kool-Aid.
No.
Strawberry, not the grape.
All right, Jim
I overdo
Jones.
it. Yeah. Not quite good on the grape. I haven't figured the grape out.
That's side-eye.
Follow me, everyone. We're going to have Kool-Aid. No, you do low country boils really well.
Oh, yeah, I do like low country
Oh, that's
boils.
seafood, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't have
Yeah, I know you can't. And we wouldn't invite you anyway because we
we don't like you.
Nobody likes you.
God, you don't have to make it so obvious. I mean, I realize I have literally 3 friends and I'm single.
You've
so
got
can
that
we
many?
not?
You've got that
I
many.
have 3 friends. 2 of them are not real, but
Okay,
one of them
I was going
is.
to say 2 of them aren't in this room.
Shout out to my bestie.
But you do a really nice low country boil. I mean, it's really, really good. So kudos
Must be
to you.
nice
on
to
that.
be able to eat seafood.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
What's wrong with seafood?
She's-
What's your
I'm
reaction
allergic
there?
to it.
Which part of it?
Seafood.
Shellfish. No,
No,
shellfish.
I can't eat fish either.
So you can't eat it like a catfish or
Nope.
any,
Why would you?
I don't know, maybe some
Catfish is
Des Moines
good
River
if you
carp.
fry it.
Ugh.
You can't eat carp either.
No, so I ate it. So I used to
Why
love
would
fish.
you?
I used to love fish, and I used to go fishing all the time when I was younger. And then when I was 16, I developed an allergy to sulfites. And there's a lot of sulfites in the fish and crawfish and seafood and stuff like that. So I'm not supposed to be eating it unless I want to black out for a few days.
Well, you're missing out. Let's invite her over and just.
No, I used to love seafood, and there's days that I really have to stop myself from actually grabbing it and eating it because I know I can't afford that.
What kind
hospital
of
bill.
reaction do you get from it?
It's all internal. So like if I touch it and stuff, I'm fine. And if I cook it, I'm fine. But if I eat it, like my throat swells, my face swells.
Her sister's the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I used to eat seafood all the time. I loved it.
Good luck getting over that.
I don't like fish. I like shrimp and scallops. That's the only thing that I'll eat. I
Okay.
don't think that I've eaten any other.
I think that's part of the issue. You haven't eaten it.
fish. No, I mean I have
other,
eaten
if
it.
you had other food,
I
you'd
have
probably like
eaten
it.
it. I just don't like
Scallops?
that taste. I said scallops.
Oh,
I'll eat
okay.
scallops and I'll eat shrimp, but I can't eat shrimp anymore because I'm getting old and it plays havoc with my cholesterol. Oh my god! So
I don't even know what
do that.
cholesterol is. So
Oh,
let's
well,
move on.
because you don't get anything checked.
I don't.
So back to our topic. So why people post food pictures online? Why do you think they do?
Because it gets the most attention. It gets the most likes.
It does. It receives a lot of likes and comments and validation, and people have a sense of accomplishment and social connections. And so it isn't that they even have to make it. They don't even have to make the
No,
dish as
they
long
could
as
be
they can
eating
get
out
the
somewhere.
attention.
Yeah.
As long as they get the attention, and that's kind of that narcissistic behavior that you need, attention for. But that's one
How
of
are
the
you getting
reasons.
satisfaction out of taking a photo of something that you never put the
Because-
effort into making?
Because you may have eaten it. You may
Oh,
have. You
it's
may
a lot
have.
of work to eat it.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
you gotta- yeah.
I mean, I take pictures from
gotta
the
be
restaurants
recognized.
all the time, but again, I'm doing reviews. But on the other hand, there's times I've said, man, we had this and it was really fantastic. And
Yeah,
I
for the
do
sake
it
of
really
others.
to let other people know, hey, if you're interested in this, go to this restaurant and eat this.
A lot of people do it for the serotonin that they get from when people like one of their pictures on social media, because it gives them a little.
Wait a
tiny
minute.
bit of
That's not
serotonin.
serotonin.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Oh, for the love of God.
Challenger enough.
Yes, yes, it is. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, and every time someone likes, a photo that you post, especially if you put it public and people you don't even know who don't even follow you are liking your post, you get a boost every time you.
I thought that was dopamine that comes out of the brain anytime you have any type of like or,
I don't think I have any dopamine left.
well,
So
when you exhausted on drugs. From doing crack or whatever
I
it
could
was
crack
at 14.
my back and
I
have
don't
an
know.
acid trip right now.
Oh
but
yeah,
we're not gonna
dropping acid at 14, whatever it was. Maybe you lost all your dopamine then. You dope.
Oh my God. So what are your top 3 favorite shows that you watch?
I besides home improvement shows.
No, I mean like food shows.
Chopped.
Okay, you like Chopped?
Beat Bobby Flay,
Okay.
and the third one would be probably the spring baking.
The spring bake off thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I really like to watch those. I really, when I'm watching them, I'm thinking, oh, I could do that.
So yours are all about competition.
Yeah, it really is. But I always think, I could do that. And when I was doing the class that Dr. Domain sent me to, I did do it. I mean, I showed you some pictures. We made some pretty cool cakes. And then I get home and it's like, I put my helmet on and bang my head against the wall a couple of times, step on it and put it on a dish or put it on a plate. I mean, it just looks hideous. So, what do you do? But I have to tell this story real quick before I go on. So when, a long time ago when the girls were younger, well, not even just when they were younger, but every year we had a baking day before Christmas.
Oh, God.
And we baked everything. I mean, just tons and tons of food. And what we did it for was to give it away. And we would take it, I would take it to work, the kids take it to school, whatever. They'd take it to their friends and all that
And it was all
stuff.
Christmas treats, like not like a ham.
Yeah, no, it wasn't any of that stuff. But, it was like cookies and cakes and pretzels and fudge and all that business.
Divinity.
Yeah, divinity and stuff like that. And I remember we were making cookies. Now, this was when they were really a little bit younger, though. I think Bobby was about 11 or 12 years old. And
okay, the blackout years. All right.
Yeah, the blackout years.
Let's do it.
And we were decorating cookies. And she was being so meticulous about this one cookie. And I remember this. This is absolutely no lie. She probably took over an hour to decorate this cookie. And I was so proud of her sitting there as a young kid, just sitting there decorating this big cookie. And it wasn't a huge one. It was just, a big,
it was like a big cutout
cookie.
Yeah.
And it looked so good and everything. And she had it on the table and she said, "Oh, look." And I go, "Oh man, that's beautiful." And she picked it up to take it into the other room because I think she was going to put it in a box or something. And the dog jumped up. Oh, does this bring back bad memories, Bobby?
No, keep going. I was on acid anyway, so.
The dog jumped up and took the cookie out of her hand. Oh, my God.
Y'all out there don't know what it took to get 11-year-old me to sit still for over an hour to work on a damn cookie.
Her sister and I laughed so hard. Oh my God, it was so funny. And of course I said, "Oh, you could do another one." There was no way else. And I think you even said F that. But it was funny. Oh my God, it was just so funny. And it was so traumatic at the same time.
It was freaking traumatic. So thank you for bringing that up.
It was traumatic at the same time.
God, you're such an asshole.
It was pretty funny. So I'm going back to our topic here on, a lot of people post the pictures because they use that as kind of their personal branding. Like if I can cook or if I can bake, I'm going to put that out there as my personal branding, like sharing food photos. It helps them really to kind of express their creativity and kind of build a personal brand. Even though they're not doing a business, it really does kind of give them the attention. And it also helps people to share experiences, right?
Right.
So if I've eaten somewhere and I say, "Oh my gosh, this was the best food I've had," other people may jump in and go, "Yeah, we were there and it was really fantastic." Or somebody may say, "Hey, listen, that was a shithole.
Yeah.
And we're not going there." Because, if you're going to spend $60, $70 on a steak, you want it to be good. And if it's not going to be good, I want to know because I don't want to go there. But, just sharing those enjoyable experiences with others kind of gives people, believe it or not, a sense of community around food.
That makes sense. That really makes sense, especially in towns, like smaller towns or cities like Des Moines, where it is kind of a smaller city. It is word of mouth for a lot of our businesses. And so when someone hypes them up or, shows a great photo of something that looks really good to eat.
Yeah.
More people are going to want to come in the neighborhood.
Yeah. And seeing food photos really can inspire others to try new recipes or, like we talked about, visit that particular restaurant. And then there's some psychological benefits too. Just seeing those pictures can trigger and release dopamine and other feel-good chemicals that actually increase your appetite. And
see, now I don't, when I post pictures of food, if it's not for a specific review on a place, I'm doing it so fat girl me later can look back and go, man, that did taste really good.
yeah.
Like
And you
for me.
remember where it was that you ate.
Yeah, or if I made it, how I made it that night type of thing. But that's for me. I mean, I'm a foodie to the end, so.
Yeah. There's a downside to that, obviously. When I'm dead and gone, you guys are going to look back in my pictures and you're going to go, oh, look, Mom ate this on that day.
Oh, jeez.
She posted pancakes.
Yeah.
And, oh, look, she was at this restaurant.
Because that's the ones we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not going to be talking about that cookie the dog jumped up and ate.
No, but I might talk about the tractor in the pond. So let's
stop.
keep going.
Okay, stop. But some of the other things, that it does for you under social media is it, I kind of touched on this, is your sense of sharing. Really your sense of sharing. And, people have something to talk about. Oh, that looks good. Oh, where did you get that? Oh, I'm going to try to make that. I made it the other night. It was really good. And it really does sometimes give people their 15 seconds of fame. And it sounds weird, but that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of food pictures in the future and a lot of selfies because, a lot of narcissists out there. And
because some of us don't have someone to take a picture of us that actually looks good. You got us half eaten and hanging out the chair rather than saying, oh, I'm going to take a picture, smile. No, I got to do it myself.
I don't do that. No, I take pictures of you, Bobby.
Yeah, of eating, like mid blink. Those ones are great. Yeah.
Well, I got to get what I can get.
On the way out of the bathroom at the bowling alley. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't love those pictures? Who wouldn't love those?
You know what? Our listeners probably think that you've had the saddest life, and this is why you're so angry.
Boo-hoo.
And she has.
That's why I'm so funny. No, that's why I'm so funny.
You are pretty funny. There's no doubt about that.
Funny
because
looking.
even when we've been in our worst fights, I mean,
I'll crack a little jokey joke.
We can be
either way. I could get knocked out.
We can be in our worst, face spitting right 2 inches from each other's faces, screaming at each other, and all of a sudden she'll say some stupid ass thing, and it just cracks me up, and then I have to stop. So let me ask you a question here, Bobby.
Okay.
If you had, and I'm going to ask the listeners this too, I want you guys to think about this. If there was one food, not one meal, one food,
Okay.
that you had to eat the rest of your life, but you got to choose it,
Okay.
not a meal,
Not a meal, but a type of food.
food. Let's say it was bologna. Let's say it was peanut butter.
Okay. Got it. So it can't be like a salad.
It can't be a peanut butter sandwich. It can't be a chef salad.
All right. So one ingredient.
One item that you had to eat the rest of your life and you got to pick it.
Okay.
What would that be?
Is it the only thing I can eat?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know what that would be?
Spam.
You don't even eat spam.
I used to though. Fried spam was
so
good.
And so you're telling me that for the rest of your life, that's the food item that you would pick.
Yeah, why not? I mean, look at it this way. Spam is like not exactly that great for you. So the lifespan's not going to be that long for me to have to deal with eating spam the rest of my life anyway. I mean, maybe 8 years tops.
And then you're going to have a heart attack and die.
I mean, it's whatever, but I'm still going to like
harden.
spam when I die. And I'm not going to get tired of it.
Oh my gosh. What about you, Dr. Domain?
It has to be one particular thing. It can't be the whole animal.
No. Can't be the whole animal. It has,
So like steak or hamburger, it can't be both.
Right.
It can't be a cow.
Right.
I could always tenderize a steak, make it a hamburger. I'd do steak.
You do steak.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is there a particular kind of steak that you would do?
I have to pick the part of the animal.
I don't know about that. I'm not going to tell you have to pick a drumstick off of a chicken. So, if you
I'll
said
take the whole cow then.
No, you said steak.
Okay,
Prime rib.
Prime rib.
Prime rib.
Tenderloin or something.
You guys
Tenderloin.
say prime rib.
No, I
prime
never
rib-
said that. She said it.
I did.
Tenderloin.
Tenderloin. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably
we
the
do.
best. That is probably the best cut. So it's interesting because I've said this before. Prime rib is the most tasteless piece of meat, and yet it gets such high reviews from people. And most beef producers have nothing to do with prime
It looks
rib.
dramatic on your plate.
It does look dramatic, and it looks big.
Depends on how it's seasoned.
So I'm going to tell you what my food would be.
Okay, what's your food?
My food.
Your
would
one
be
ingredient.
My one thing.
Okay.
Bacon.
Ugh.
I know you hate bacon.
God, I hate bacon.
Now, I would only last 3 months because my arteries would harden within
That's
that
what I'm
time
saying.
period.
You wouldn't last,
Yeah.
last that long, so
But
it'd be a good ride out.
I love bacon.
Yeah, I can't stand bacon and pepperoni. Just get it away from me.
I'm not a big pepperoni fan.
Do you like sausage?
Love sausage. Love ham.
Italian
Love
sausage?
Canadian.
It's
Love
like
Italian
a cousin
sausage.
of bacon, though.
No, I know they're
Sausage.
cousins, but they ain't kissing cousins because they don't taste anything alike.
They ain't cousins. Well,
Just one got closer to the grinder.
I guess. But
I
yeah, same for
suppose.
pepperoni. I can't do pepperoni either.
really.
Ugh.
I'm
Any
not
other
a,
part of the pig, I'll eat.
I'm not a big fan of pepperoni, but I would eat it. But
No, I won't even eat it. I'll pick it off. I'll pick it out of the food.
so what's the one food that you say, and this has nothing to do with allergies,
Okay.
that you say there is no way in hell that would go into my body. I could starve to death and be a walking bone, dying.
Okay, I
And
got it. I got it.
what
You didn't
is-
even got to finish.
Oh.
I got it.
Okay, I don't
I
even
got
have
it.
to finish this description. Okay, what?
Sea kelp.
That's pretty horrible stuff.
You could just drown me at that point if we're that close to the water because there's no way in hell I'm even licking that stuff, let alone eating it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad stuff. That's pretty bad stuff. I can't stand the smell of, or that wrap. I don't even know what it's called. What's that wrap that goes around sushi?
Seaweed?
Seaweed. Ugh.
Seaweed's kind of different, but no, sea kelp. I would rather eat seaweed. I'd rather eat seaweed, yeah, than sea kelp.
Ugh, that is pretty bad. So that's the one food.
That's the one food. You could hold a gun to my head and I'd be like, see ya.
really.
I'm not eating it. Yep.
What about you, Dr. Domain?
Brussels sprouts.
Are
Good
you
one.
serious?
That's a good one.
Not a fan of those.
You ate Brussels sprouts?
I know.
That's because he was taught to eat
He
his
would know.
vegetables.
I-
It was because
did
we
you
were
notice
first
that
dating,
then
and
I
he thought
ate
he
it?
had to.
I ate it and I left the table right away.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you liked them. You said, "Oh, I'll try it," and then
he
you
tried
left.
it.
Are you serious? You went and heaved?
Yeah.
He had to look like he would eat them to make a good impression. Brussels sprouts are
I got to keep
crap.
my figure too, so kind of helps with that.
Brussels sprouts, if they're just steamed or boiled or something, taste like shit. Oh, excuse my language. But if they are baked or fried,
I don't care how you cook them.
Oh.
You could cover them in hot sauce and fry them in a deep fryer, and it still would taste horrible.
okay.
They still smell.
Yeah, the
You
smell.
know, I would like to say that my food would be like liver, but it's not, because I would eat that before I would ever eat rattlesnake. Because I am
Oh, yeah, I
so
forgot about snake.
phobia. I have such a phobia to snakes. I
Shit.
couldn't even touch the snake.
That'd probably be number
eat
two.
it.
Well, no. God, that might take over kelp
I
for me.
know.
I'm not eating a snake.
I couldn't touch it to even go near it. And I don't care if it's ground up like hamburger. I can't
No.
do it. If I
No.
knew it was
Well,
snake,
you wouldn't even know what it is, maybe.
that's a different story. But when you know, what
Like
did you-
octopus in the salad. You know?
I would take that over a snake. I can't. I just couldn't. There's no way.
No, there's no way she could.
I can't.
I would never want to. I mean, I'm sure that life or death, I probably could.
Your snakeskin boots. Eat them.
So, does it irritate you when you see food pictures pop up on your social media?
No, once again, I'm a fat girl. I mean, I love food.
Yeah.
So, no, it absolutely doesn't.
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting where it takes us in society that we find that so interesting.
I think it is more of a community thing than really like, oh, I'm so interested in food. It's more of a, hey, I've, seen that recipe, or I tried that recipe. Let me see what they say, type of thing. Or that looks really good. I'm hungry. Where did they go?
So have you ever tried any of these meals that come prepared to your house?
Like
not
the meal
prepared,
services?
not Meals on Wheels, but like
You're old enough for it.
Shush.
How are you doing today, Jane?
Listen, you know what? You'd be my Meals on Wheels service. So just shut it.
Well, you'd be starving. Sorry. Here's some McDonald's. Shut up.
Here's a McDonald's that was rolling around in my car for the last 2 weeks on the floor.
I would too.
Here's an M&M that I found under the seat.
Here's a Jolly Rancher.
So no, have you tried? Like, I don't even remember what they're called, but we tried.
So there's
some.
like HelloFresh, and there's like a few others, but no, I don't use. God, no, I'm poor. I don't use them.
So we tried them for a while. And here's the big advantage to those. We spent less money on groceries because we weren't buying a bunch of crap.
Right.
And we weren't buying all these extra things that we needed to make a recipe that sat in the cupboard the rest of the next 5 years.
Right.
We go, what the hell do we use that for? So these meals come with all your seasonings. They come with all your sides. They come with all the herbs, all that business.
Pre-portioned.
Pre-portioned. Everything's good. And so what happened with us is we ended up spending a lot less money. We also didn't have to buy all these, what I would call exotic spices.
Spices you'll use once.
Something more than salt and pepper. Because you know what I'm talking about. A lot of times you have to buy 5 or 6 different spices to make a dish, and you're never ever going to use them again. Did I lose you guys?
No, because that's what I just said. I mean, you're going to buy a 1 pound package of a spice that you're going to use 3 pinches out of.
Yeah. And
once.
then it's going to sit, and you've already paid for that. So I think that they're kind of a good deal if it's like 1 or 2 people. If it's a family, I can't see that happening. But we spent less money because we didn't buy a bunch of snacks. We didn't buy a bunch of extra stuff. We didn't have a ton of leftovers from a dish that we end up throwing out to the dogs because it's like, well, I can only eat so many leftovers.
Right.
And,
but for you two, I mean, a meal service would be pretty perfect because it's just you two.
Yeah.
I mean, small portions, you guys are old. You don't eat as much.
That's hurtful. She called you old too, Dr. Domain.
Those
I mean,
are fighting words.
To call me that is one
I'll
thing.
beat her with my cane.
Can I watch? Because I'm sure she deserves it.
Yes.
So anyway, that was really kind of what I wanted to talk about is, the kind of the weirdness of people taking pictures of food and having such an, obsession with pictures of food and food itself. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, you got to think like Hell's Kitchen and stuff started in 2005. And that's kind of when it had a real uptick of popularity and people, showing off more.
Yeah.
Saying, I could win that. I could do that. I could make that. Like some people on their couch.
So who was the one that you remember starting kind of this cooking business?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Justin Wilson.
What?
Justin Wilson.
Who's Justin
Who the
Wilson?
hell is that?
Who is that?
Justin Wilson? Oh, you youngins don't know.
What? Who's Justin Wilson?
He was a Louisiana cook. Justin Wilson.
Oh.
I guarantee.
What? No. That's
What are you
He was like one of the
talking
earliest
about?
ones.
And that's fine. I guarantee. Now, I want to tell you something. Every time I get right here at this jogging block, I can't help but thought about a bunch of my friends down in Louisiana, them Cajuns, them wonderful Cajuns. Cajuns love their children. There ain't no two-way about that like everybody else. And I got a bunch of them in one family, and all of them are fine-looking peoples, except one.
Yeah.
I thought Julia Childs was.
Yeah. He
Oh, yeah,
predated.
Julia.
He-
I was going to say Anthony
I
Bourdain
think-
for my generation.
Yeah, I think he predated there, though. Maybe about the same time. But
So I remember the guy from Cookie's Barbecue used to come on, and he'd do
God.
He'd do a cooking show too. Do you remember that?
Yes.
From Cookie's Barbecue, he would have some barbecue recipe, and he'd do that whole thing. But I remember Julia Childs coming on and doing her thing. And other than that, it just kind of sprung forward from there. Help people learn to cook, I guess.
Learn to cook or wish that they did.
So, Bobbi, where do you think you got your cooking skills?
My grandmother, God bless her soul, both of them actually, because I had one grandmother that had taught me a lot of recipes, and I had another grandmother that put the turkey in at a different time every Thanksgiving, but it still got done by 6 p.m.
No, noon.
Noon.
It would always get done at noon. I don't know. I doesn't matter what time I put that turkey in. It's done at noon. So, in all fairness, the girls really didn't have a mom that cooked a lot when they were growing up.
God, is that putting it lightly? Yeah.
And so I do remember when they asked me to bake some cookies one time.
Oh my God.
I went and bought cookies and put them on a cookie sheet and kind of warmed them up. And so
I mean, they were cookies.
they were cookies, and they were store bought, but you guys didn't know other than the fact that they said Oreo on them. But but no, I just really was not a good cook. I wasn't a cook, period. I just wasn't around. I didn't want to cook. I didn't like to cook. And then after you guys left the house and I was by myself, do you remember I was in that townhouse that I bought out in West Des Moines?
I thought you were going to say, do you remember I was in that nursing home that I...
Shut up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember the townhouse.
So I had bought a townhouse and I did not keep food in the house because I knew I would eat it. And I was pencil thin. I mean, I was just, whisper of a thing. And the girls would come over and they'd look up in the cupboards, and I kept my sweaters and stuff up there because
there's no food.
There was no food. And I remember Bobbi saying, if you look in her refrigerator, I can guarantee you what's in there. It's a bottle of ketchup and 2 bottles of water. I never had anything.
And it was.
Yeah.
Literally.
I had 1 fork, 1 spoon, and 1 knife. Don't come for dinner.
Yeah.
Don't come for dinner because we're not having it here. So that's really all I wanted to talk about. Did either one of you have anything else you wanted to talk about as it relates to the food craze?
No? I'm for it.
You're for it.
Like I said, I love food.
Yeah. Well, that's all the food insanity we have for today, or the absurdity thereof. And we appreciate you joining us here at the Rabbit Hole Studio. Be sure to follow us. We look forward to spending time with you each week. Please like us. And if you have positive feedback for us, or if there's a topic you would like us to talk about, drop us a short email at boomerandgenxer@gmail.com. If you have hate mail, not interested, keep it to yourself. Shove it under that plate, put it under that food, grind it up, don't care. But until next week, I'm Jane Burt.
And I'm Bobbi Joy.
And you're stuck with us. Peace out.
Later.